Hello, welcome to the Bronze Age Monsters bonus show. This is a show we make each and every week for our loyal patrons, where we talk about a devil movie that the Dark Lord himself has chosen for us, and we talk about other things that are going on in our lives, things we're doing, things we're reading, things we're thinking about. Got my cat Lulu here with me. So, this week the Dark Lord chose the 2004 adaptation of the famous manga and anime series Devilman. This was directed by Hiroyuki Nasu, and like I say, it was based on a very beloved manga that people really have invested a lot in and think is great. It's very highly regarded. The anime that was based on it is very highly regarded. This, however, is not.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research on this. I apparently is it Toei, whatever that animation studio is, ordered Devilman, and so the manga came out like a month before. So they were kind of done in tandem, essentially. Unlike a lot of other ones where there's a manga series that's successful and then they develop it into an animation thing. This was actually planned, and like you said, it started in '72. It ran for 1 year, June '72 to June '73, which is pretty short for a manga series, and which I get excited about because something that you can read in 5 volumes, whatever, 6 volumes. Yeah. Right now, I'm just like, Satan. Like, we have the wild cards, which are 6, 16, and 26. I've rolled 2 of those so far, which seems, I'm not a math magician, but that seems like it's kind of high, improbability.
It is.
Yeah, so we had that Fear No Evil movie, which we thought was worth watching and it was interesting, but we didn't particularly love. And this one was, so I found this on a list. Again, I was doing a super deep dive. This was in the sub-basement level of the haunted house pinball game. So it doesn't have to be 70s once you're down in the basement. So I threw in Devilman that came up on a list, and I was like, I think I've heard of that manga, and I think it's beloved. So if there's a movie based on it, I'm sure it's great. So that was my thinking. And once I rolled the die and found out that it was this, I started doing research, and there was like the first results were like YouTube videos with just the thumbnail of worst manga anime adaptation in history, and something to the effect of like it won some Japanese poll for worst film of the 2000s from Japan. So much so that like I don't know what the term is. There's like a term for like plurality or whatever, where it's like it's so much farther ahead than its runner-up that it was like 3 times as many votes. Like it was hated. Let's just say that.
It's extremely hated. It's sitting currently at a 3.9 on IMDb.
Smoking. So one of the first follies that we watched this together on a watch along. I hope you'll join us for future ones, whatever the Dark Lord tells us to watch next. We usually do them on Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time, on our Discord, and I will throw a link into wherever this goes, Patreon, whatever else. So, Devilman. The first folly was casting celebrities and models in the roles instead of actors. Straight away. I mean, that's a deal breaker, right? I mean,
yes.
Like Paris Hilton in House of Wax remake. Like, some people like to watch it, like it as a cult movie because it's so bad. But I mean, you wouldn't go, we're making a movie, so let's see, Kendall Kardashian and Paris Hilton and what about Bruno Mars? Like,
yeah,
it should be people who are actors who can portray things, not famous faces that people like to look at. Ideally, I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker. We should get Brad on this. Speed dial. He wouldn't watch it though because he values his time.
No, as he should value his time. This is time we could not get back. I mean, it starts off as kind of a normal like teen drama with bullying and but then it's about a teenager named Akira, his friend slash rival Ryo. Right? I mean, they're the main two characters, I would think.
Seemingly.
I guess. I don't know. This movie perplexed me in ways that I could not even understand.
Well, we were joking as we were watching it with the gang in the watch along. Like, there would just be a random scene inserted where it's like, so this feels like there's 30 volumes of a manga, and you're like, oh, you got to have that famous scene when whatever happens, blah blah. But this ran a year. So like all of these weird insertions where it's like, God, somebody really wanted that scene in there. And we just jumped and met a new character and something random happened. And we jumped away, never saw them again. Like it felt like it was trying to cook down 30 years of a storyline into a 2-hour movie, but it was not. It was 1 year of storyline into a 2-hour movie. And it was a disaster.
It was truly a disaster. And it was in that weird valley for me of like, early to leading into like mid 2000s to where CGI just looks more video gamey than ever, and everything just looked like a really bad cutscene as opposed to just like, you know, late 90s CGI, you know. But it was very I don't know, this is the wrong end of the uncanny valley for me. It's just these just seemed like I don't know, I didn't even know how to describe the effects. I didn't understand them.
You're right. I know you don't play modern video games, but like it felt very much like a early 2000s like Resident Evil like cutscenes, like that when there was CGI in it. And I know that's why it's lambasted most of the time is for special effects, but I really think we should give them a break because the scriptwriters, I think, should be flogged publicly. It was gibberish.
It was gibberish. It's so hard to even make a summary of what the fucking movie's about, even. I don't even know how to do that.
I will try. Can I take a stab?
Take a stab, please.
As the founder of That's Cool, That's Trash Psychotronic podcast of many years, 100 episodes, I think I can try and condense this into a synopsis. That student Akira is exposed to a parasite, essentially, from this core of the earth that turns people into demons. They look like spermatozoa, and if they make contact with you, you become infested with a demon and act demonically. And so this spreads throughout the entire world. It spreads through physical contact. It turns into essentially like a 28 days later type of situation where there's like death squads that are just trying to kill demons, even if they just are reported as demons. All out demon warfare. The part that I feel like there was cultural stuff that was lost on us as Westerners was like, our friend Jason Farrell was like, oh, well, this guy's wearing white, and in white in Japanese culture, like white actually represents death. So it makes sense that he's being referred to as Satan by people. And, like there was stuff that we weren't getting, but even just the lenses not matching aside, like, there were just things that didn't make sense. I mean, there'd be a new character that got introduced out of nowhere, and then you just follow them for a while, and then cut back to them intermittently, and it just felt like a zoo of weirdness. And like the main character, Devilman, he looks kind of cool, I guess, like on paper, like when he changes. But what would happen was he would change into this fully CGI kind of cool, like Abomination, whatever Hulk kind of form. But then he would almost immediately switch back to this weird, like mid stage, which is just prosthetic horns coming out of his flesh and
veins,
like bats,
or like,
bats coming, bat wings coming off of his back. Like it was just, veins, and like the crow makeup. Like it was very clear that they were just cutting corners and making it cheap. But I don't know, man. Normally that's something I could get lost in, right? Like the yokai spook warfare movies of like the 60s are so fun, and it's just little cute creatures in rubber suits doing stuff, and it's like I love that. I'm not a snob. Like I don't need everything to look killer, but like this looked not good, and it didn't make any sense. Like I'm trying to imagine watching this without you and the rest of the Discord gang. Like it would have been really grim, man. Really fucking grim.
I would have turned it off halfway through, honestly.
We were having more fun just riffing it together and laughing about how bad it was than, suffering through the movie, obviously. I mean,
Oh yeah, if I had to do that by myself, there's no way. Again, proof of why watching it on the Discord and the watch along is the best way.
so yeah. And we, by the way, had a straw poll at the last minute, I think literally 10 minutes before we started. And someone said, are we doing the subbed or the dubbed? And I was like, well, this movie's supposed to be terrible, so we should watch the dub. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't think respecting the native language and watching subtitles would have made this any better.
Not at all.
No, it was weird, man. And there was just little things I liked. Like, I love Junji Ito. He's one of my favorite Japanese comics artists. I find his art profoundly disturbing and affecting, and gorgeous at the same time. So, I just went and saw Videodrome last week, and I have a weird attraction repellent thing going on with body horror. And this had some of that in it. Like, there's a character, we see a demon's like evolutionary life forms move through, like this guy being infected by a demon to going up to a open air mall where they're selling turtles to kids, and he grabs a turtle and eats it because he's hungry. And then we jump to, and then his face turns into like a weird turtle face. And then we jump forward to his full evolution into a demon where he is a turtle-y thing. And he has eaten a bunch of people, one of the characters we've met prior to this, and all of their faces, much like in some Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street special effect, are like in his back, like cysts. And their faces, and they're suffering. That's like, sorry, it's not just the fact there's faces. They're like going, and there's like squiggling tentacles coming out by their face. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
So there's little things that are affecting like that, but they do not salvage this in any way for me. Like, I would just clip those things and share them with somebody and say, do not watch this movie, or watch this scene.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the worst movie we'll have ever watched together for this show, honestly.
Yeah, Jack and Diane? No.
Ooh, Jack and Diane's up there.
What about that one with the girl that took over her aunt's bookstore and got attacked and turned into a werewolf for revenge? I hated that. I Am Lisa. I hated that movie passionately.
Yeah, no, both those were bad, but I don't know if they were like affronts to God.
Okay. There were little things I liked as well. Like, so I looked at the manga today.
Oh, okay, cool.
I looked at the first volume on one of those online sites where this has been released in English, folks. So if you're curious about the popular manga that is beloved, you can get it in, I think, 2 big volumes from, I think, Viz Media or something like that. But prior to that translation, there was pirate sites that people did translation and proofing and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I saw the angel that approaches him. Mm-hmm. I saw some of the fight scenes. I saw different monsters. The art's okay. I prefer a little more, Wolf and Cub kind of whatever. This is more Speed Racer kind of art. Gotcha. So it's weird because all the characters feel very cartoony, and then the demons are very violent and very weird and disturbing. So it's a oil and water thing. I didn't care for it. I thought about reading the first volume just to see if, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's going to be a claw down for me.
It's going to claw down from me. Under what conditions would you recommend somebody watch this if you had to recommend a watch?
I don't know. I don't think drugs make it better. I don't know. I mean, maybe the only way to do it is full on Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah,
watch it with friends and just riff it to death. That's the only way this movie can be even partially enjoyed.
Yeah, I honestly, with you and the rest of the folks, I actually kind of enjoyed it. The experience. I did not enjoy the film at all, but like the riffing and the running jokes, the running jokes are always the best thing to me. A building reference always kills me. So I laughed quite a bit watching this with you guys Sunday night. But yeah, I would never just unleash this upon a friend and say, check out Devilman.
Yeah, no.
And apparently Japan feels the same way.
Yeah, they definitely feel the same way.
So it's 2 claws down, and we're at the point now where we need to film you rolling the die.
That's right. All right, I'm rolling. I think we got 10.
10? So shit. Satan's School for Girls.
Okay.
A made-for-TV movie. I'm actually optimistic about this one.
All right.
Cool. I'm excited. I've wanted to watch this one for a while. I feel like the brass ring for me is Race with the Devil with Peter Fonda and Warren Oates. But we'll get there. Satan's School for Girls was on the list of stuff I was excited about. You know how I love TV movies.
I know.
So, before the season started, I would spend Saturday nights, I'd pour a big brandy or like a bourbon and watch a horror TV movie from the 70s and kind of live tweet it or something. It's cool. The watch along has kind of replaced that. We're just do the same thing, but we just have a bunch of people with me. So cool. So yeah, check out the Discord link and the Patreon notes here for this episode, this bonus episode. And also stick it in the YouTube messages as well in case you get into YouTube through Patreon. And join us Saturday or Sunday night at 7 for Satan's School for Girls. Should be a blast. So otherwise, just general stuff. Do you know Richard Swift, the musician who he was from California? He died in 2018. He was like our age, your age. But he started off as a Christian guy, and then he got kind of discovered by indie stuff. So he was like a touring member or backing member or whatever of like the Shins, Damien Gerardo, Foxygen, Nathaniel Rateliff, Minor Birds, Wake Owl, Stereolab, Fleet Foxes, Guster. So yeah, he was hugely popular. He recorded several of his own albums. I think it started in 2003. He released his first solo album or first album called The Novelist. That was not a Christian thing. So I knew him because I've been getting back into this band that I kind of like for a while called Pickwick, which is from Seattle. And they're, I don't know, they're kind of indie. They got kind of a blues, not blues, but I don't know how to describe them. Like rocky, whatever thing, but the singer has a big, powerful voice. And so they're pretty interesting, but when the first time I saw them at Doug Fir, they did this song called Lady Luck, and he was talking about this guy Richard Swift who wrote it, and it was their cover, and it's a tribute to him. And this is like 2015, and he was kind of alluding to the fact that this guy's had like a rough life. And so come to find out, like I looked him up after I got back into Pickwick and heard that cover and was impressed by how good it was. I looked up Richard Swift, and he died in 2018 from alcoholism related stuff. So he had a pretty rough life. He ran the studio in Cottage Grove, and he toured with bands all the time and did sessions in a studio. But apparently he had like driven his family away with his drinking years before. And sadly, he released a solo album called The Hex. It was a 2-album concept. He did an album called The Hex, which was basically letters and messages to people in his life that he had ostracized through his alcoholism, to his wife, his 2 daughters, friends, colleagues. And it came out 2 weeks before he died, but the planned follow-up was The Fix, and he was going to go into treatment and write his way through treatment. But he went into a hospital in Tacoma with liver and kidney failure due to alcoholism, and died 2 weeks after The Hex came out. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I recommend you check it out. But if you just want to check out his sound, that song "Lady Luck" is interesting. Like he played everything. He was kind of a guy that started off as a 4-track recorder in his own house, and then people like that he met in the Christian community kind of taught him how to record stuff, and then he slowly built up a studio, and then he realized that this might be controversial. The Christian music scene is actually pretty phony and pretty shitty, and so he kind of just became not an atheist, but a whatever, secular. So yeah, he's beloved by like the Shins and all those guys. He was like just considered a god by them, and he died. So I just finally figured out today I should probably check out this guy's music that Pickwick was loving and does this beautiful cover up on their first album. And yeah, people check it out.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it all.
Yeah, I didn't know his name. His birth name was Richard Ochoa, but in the Christian community, he went by Dickie Swift. Dickie Swift. That's his name. And then he just adopted the Swift part and went back to Richard. So, cool. He was Ricardo Ochoa was his birth name.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Just wanted to throw in something that was not Devilman because it's a bummer fucking episode to talk about.
It is.
It's also a bummer to talk about a guy that drank himself to death because of abuse by his stepfather and blah blah blah. But yeah, he's an interesting character and a regional luminary that you and I are always trumpeting the big figures in the Pacific Northwest music scene, and he was someone that I heard his name a couple times, but I did not check out. So I'm going to check out his stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Yeah,
cool.
Right on. Well, I'm excited for Satan's School for Girls. I'm not going to lie.
Yep, Satan's School for Girls will be good. I saw it in the list, and I'm excited. That'll be good. So we'll try and do that as a watch along.
No try. This is Yoda. This is Yoda shit, brother.
Oh, that's right. We have no restraints anymore. We have nothing holding us back. So
those were perceived restraints.
Yeah. So we will definitely be showing that in our watch along, and you can join us if you're on the Discord. If you're a PAC member or a Star God and you're not on the Discord, you really should be on the Discord because it's super awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten rid of the netheranium of having a stream through YouTube and realized we can just stream from my desktop. And I have one of the largest collections of psychotronic digital films in the Western Hemisphere. So
that's true.
We're good.
Yep. No, we are totally fine. So no, I'm excited for that. So yeah, catch us on the Discord for the watch along for that. And I think by the time this comes out, we'll have already done our screening in Portland of the Werewolf by Night special.
Yep.
So cheers to us.
Here's to us.
I hope we did good. I bet we did good.
We did great.
We did fine.
And the good thing is you as supporters of the show are going to get to see or hear that. So we will capture it in some way for you to check out.
For sure. It's okay. Well, that's the bonus show for us. So until we meet again, hail Satan.
Hail Satan. And that's the bonus show. Remember that?
HSN Network? Yeah.